welcome to yet another exciting episode of the talk show. I am your host, Siri Smith, coming to you from the Aston Martin showroom at Daytona Santon. We have got so much to show you guys, so get comfy, grab that hot chocolate because it's time to put pedal to the metal. Coming up on the show, we see what went down at the all-new C-Class launch, we share tips on flash floods, we test out the gorgeous new BMW X3, and we give you options. Mercedes-Benz recently launched their newest edition of the C-Class, and the talk show was invited. Take a look at what went down.
The overall design strategy for the C-Class facelift is really about making it sportier, more youthful, and a refreshed look for the vehicle as well. We have three exterior lines available: the standard line, the avant-garde line, the AMG. What you see here on the C180 is the AMG, and that comes in the newly designed front bumper with the diamond grille, which is also new for the AMG line, as well as that classic AMG front apron at the front here. In terms of the colors, we've also got some new colors available on the exterior. The first is Mojave Silver, and that's what you see on this vehicle over here. And Graphite Grey is available exclusively on the Coupe and the Cabriolet, and you can see it on the C43 Coupe close to the entrance there. So these headlights are now country standard for South Africa. You can also optionally get the new multi-beam LEDs, and that's the first time they've been introduced to the model series, and they're made up of 84 individual LEDs that can adjust to the driving conditions quickly and precisely. Now, the ultra-range high beams have a maximum intensity, light intensity, as permissible by law. And an interesting fact is they only drop from a light intensity perspective below the reference value of 1 lux at a distance of 650 meters. So it's really, really impressive stuff. These are the 19-inch AMG wheels. Now, you remember these wheels were only available before on the 43 models, and they've now been introduced to the rest of the lineup as well. And that's really, trying to add that sporty feel to the rest of the lineup. So just to start with, it's obviously the rear bumper has been completely redesigned for the avant-garde and the AMG exterior. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about the rear taillights, just very quickly. The rear taillights are brand new, and really what they do is accentuate the width of the vehicle, and they're a clear differentiator between the facelift and pre-facelift model. So let's maybe start with the obvious, and that's really the new generation steering wheel, which was first introduced with the S-Class. And really what this steering wheel allows you to do is to intuitively operate not only the instrument cluster, but also the media system over here. And you do that all, right here from these two touchpads that you see here. And you'll get a chance to play with that a bit later, I'm sure. You can also operate your speed limiter, your cruise control, and in the case of Distronic, you can set your following distance as well. So really on the inside of the vehicle, some great changes. What we have here is the all-new digital display as well. That's optionally available. And we've got the increased screen display here, the 10-inch screen.
So as you see already from what Fergus has demonstrated, it's not just a simple upgrade. This is a complete evolution of this particular model. In fact, the safety systems are now at the same level of an S-Class. The basis for this is improved cameras as well as improved radar systems. The camera can now also see up to 500 meters ahead, and in fact in 3D mode for the first 90 meters, which is incredible. So for this reason, the C-Class can actually drive semi-autonomously in more situations than ever before. Also, it allows now the active Distronic is route-based and supported also by the navigation system. Another important announcement is the enhanced active steering assistant with intuitive active lane changing assistant. So really incredible in terms of how this car is able to react and also predict certain very important situations when you're on the road. Also coming in these vehicles are the new engines, the M264, which is a 1.5 litre variant. It's found in the C200 as well as the C300. And so much of the technique has changed, so many new innovations in this. In fact, this wide range of engines that just adds to the diversity and sportiness of this vehicle. I'm going to touch in a little while on a few of the technical aspects for the lifestyle journalists that aren't too interested. It's just to again re-emphasize the extent to which the engineers have gone to create the most sportiest C-Class of all times. One of the engines, the OM64 engine, found in the diesels, meets the highest certification for emissions in the world. The Euro 60 temp certification, this engine has been certified for that, so also making sure that it's at the cutting edge. One of those enhancements in our engines, Camtronic, patented by Mercedes-Benz, the Camtronic valve lift adjustment system helps save fuel, making the car more efficient. To this extent, the valve lift on the intake camshaft, it actually adapts to the best mode for whichever driving mode you're in at that time. So the electronic coolant pump also cools the engine on a needs-only basis, so it's not working all the time. So some great innovations there. Another one is something called conic shape. So this is actually the trumpet honing of the cylinder walls. It's actually conic shaped, which causes less friction on the downward stroke. So as the piston is at its lowest point, there's less friction, less wear, engine lasts longer, and by reducing friction, you're obviously, again, improving the efficiency of the engine. I know a lot of the motoring, the petrol heads love to know about the turbochargers, and they're equipped with the twin scroll turbocharger, again, ensuring better torque performance, even in the lower torque range. We speak a lot about the belt-driven starter generator, and the C-Class with the 1.5 litre engine I spoke about, and the C200 and C300 comes with this, and it comes with a 48 volt starter generator system and the corresponding electrical system as well. This was previously reserved for hybrid technologies, but now it's found its way also into a normal combustion driven engine. Also, the exhaust after treatment system has been brought closer to the engine. It really results in engine warming up very quickly, reducing the inefficiency of having cold gases being burnt. Yeah, so this system here, again, adds to the fuel consumption, the fuel efficiency, as well as the performance of the engine. And I'm also going to just, we've actually worked a lot on the actual pistons itself. Both the aluminium piston and the steel piston. We've got a stepped steel piston now. What makes this thing so evolutionary, again, is the fact that it reduces the thermal stress on the individual components. It is actually, for right now, the best possible technology. We combine it with an aluminium crankcase, so even here the heat dissipation is maximized. So you've got a steel piston with a different conic shape in a step bowl shape, sitting in an aluminium crankcase. As a result of the higher exhaust temperatures as well compared to the diesel engine, the regeneration largely occurs very independently, and whenever it's needed it can be turned on. So another way that Mercedes-Benz has just optimized the current engines. The cars on display and the cars that we have here today, these are the pricing for it. Just remember, something that's changed fundamentally from the previous C-Class is that we've now added automatic transmission as standard to the vehicle, so customers don't have to pay for this as an additional anymore. Also, the LED, the static headlamps that Fergus showed you, this is also added as standard to the vehicle. So with these two features, that's a price all inclusive for customers. And with that, I'm going to just move on to the Mercedes AMG models, both the C43 Coupe and the Cabriolet. As you know, we introduced the C43 in 2015. It was the first model of the 43 offensive. Since then, we've got a complete fireworks of these 43 models. It's contributed to the success story that Johanna spoke about, causing us to be #1 in the world as well. And it's a very unique story. At the moment, we have the 43 models on the SLC, the GLC Coupe, the GLE, and the GLE Coupe. And with these models, we're able to conquest and win over new customers to the brand. And also, when you drive them, you realize just how they make the brand so incredibly cool also.
We've got the new twin blade design at the front here. So this was previously exclusively available on the V8 and the 45 models in the compact range, and has now been introduced to the 43 models as well. And also, just to highlight down on the bottom here, we've got this chrome finish on these lateral air curtains, which not only adds to the sporty appeal of the vehicle, but is also there to optimize the airflow through and around the vehicle as well. Moving around the side of the vehicle then, we've got these new AMG wheels which are available exclusively on the 43 models. So these are honestly, in my opinion, some stunning wheels, and they're not only designed to look good, but they're also designed to be as aerodynamically efficient as possible, so reduce the overall CO2 emissions of the vehicle. The first is quite obvious down here, is the dual twin tailpipes here, the exhaust system, and this is really, to add to that sporty appeal of the vehicle and really tie it back to that AMG family. I'm going to come briefly to the interior. I know we've touched on the new generation steering wheel already. It's obviously available in the AMG and of course with some AMG touches of its own. So we've got the flattened bottom section over here, and we've also got the contoured grip area, which is obviously for maximum comfort while driving dynamically.
Stunning car. And now to the heart of this car, the 3-liter V6 bi-turbo engine. 0 to 100, less than 5 seconds. Power output has been increased on this car. 390 horsepower, 287 kilowatts, and an amazing drive. And obviously when we combine this with the AMG SpeedShift TCT 9G transmission, one of the reasons you need less than 5 seconds to reach 100 kilometers an hour. And also very quick gear changes, and it's very spontaneous. Our developers have really applied or fine-tuned the software for this transmission. The all-wheel drive system, different from our other models too, 31% in the front and of the torque in the front and 69% to the rear. It favors the rear much more, as you see, and this is good for traction as well as for the transverse and longitudinal dynamics of the vehicle. And the typical AMG ride control that you know, the suspension that makes for really outstanding agility whether on the road or the track. And this especially sporty spring damper unit and the continuously adjusting damping system are even more dynamic and agile than ever before. So ladies and gentlemen, you'll actually get to experience this product as well today. And this model actually is the sportiest ever, and I'm sure you're going to agree with that. And even more AMG feeling in the interior of this vehicle, just simply stunning. And the price for this, across the 3 models, the sedan, the coupe and the cabriolet.
Now this makes your heart pump. Driving this, like I'm feeling that. Like my heart's going like this. It's that AMG kind of feeling. Spring is right around the corner, and with that comes the rain. Flash floods happen so quickly, and you'll always find that there's one person thinking that they can cross the bridge without being swept away. What would you do if you get stuck in a sinking car? Up next, we share some tips. Dealing with flash floods. Tips to accommodate flooded roads. Obey authorities and emergency personnel who tell you to avoid driving on a specific road. If a road has been closed, obey the closure and drive the alternative route. Do not try and cross a body of water, even if you think you can make it through, as the water may be deeper than you think and the road may have eroded since you last used it. If there is a risk you will be caught in a flood, pull off the road and look for higher ground. If you do pull off, make sure you leave enough space for emergency vehicles to pass you. Ensure you are as visible as possible. Switch on your headlights and your hazards. If you have no alternative but to drive through a body of water, drive as slow as possible in first gear with both hands on the steering wheel. This will give your car the necessary traction to move forward. Driving fast may result in aquaplaning. Be especially cautious at night or when visibility is low, as it may be harder to see floods ahead. If your car is suddenly submerged and your windows aren't already open, try and break a window and swim to the nearest point of safety. A seatbelt or a headrest can be used to break the window. The end.
It is now time to take a short break, but do stay tuned for more motoring action when we return.